I mean, to see it take off like it has, I mean, the views you're
Yeah,
getting, the
yeah. That's
content is great. It's your
Thank you.
voice is amazing. You have a perfect pitch voice. It's
What? Hello, everyone, and welcome, Big Skillet. Thank you for joining, my friend.
Thank you, Shiva. I really appreciate you having me on your podcast. It's an honor, and I'm thankful for the opportunity.
No problem at all. Big Skillet. That is a name that you have carried over from several games.
Yes, I used Big Skillet in Ark of War, the game I played previously for a couple years. It was not the name I had in EVE Online. I had a different name. I had Almighty Big, um, and unfortunately, I don't have that account anymore. That account's long gone. But I think I originally wanted to be Skillet Jenkins because I thought the name was funny, and unfortunately, it was taken. Somebody already beat me to the punch to Skillet Jenkins. So I started thinking a little bit, and it's sort of a combination of Skillet Jenkins and Almighty Big, and I came up with Big Skillet. So here
It's
we are.
nice. It's nice.
Thank you.
I've been checking out your channel, and you do some tips videos on Eve Echoes as well as information videos. Sometimes, like in some videos, you actually invite another guy who talks through the stuff. Who is
Yep.
that guy?
That's Splinter. I've known Splinter for a couple of years now. We played Ark of War together in different corporations, if you will. But we've known each other for a little while, and he's a great guy. We've been in the same alliance, Trimark, for the entire time. Since release, and he's got a lot of great ideas, a lot of good content ideas, and we bounce things back and forth off each other, and it's great because he helps me with content and ideas for different episodes or videos, if you will. So yeah, Splinter, definitely got to give a shout out to Splinter.
Of course, of course. He sounds like a guy with a lot of knowledge, so that's also
He's a
always
theory
good.
crafter. He likes to theory craft about the game. He likes to
Yeah,
pick it apart a lot more than I do. He gets to the granular level, so definitely love having guys like that around that can really give you the fine tune points to the game. So
of course. Yeah, I saw some of the videos. I like it. You did one video, for example, where you did the nanocores, and the nanocores is very difficult to explain. And you did an admirable job. And I'm very sorry about the 15% EM damage that you fucked up on your ship, on your hurricane.
yeah, it should have made sense even without trying it, but I wanted to show people that. So there's proof, right? Obviously the hurricane with cannons don't do EM damage, right? They do the other three types: the kinetic, thermal, and explosive. So I thought, well, this would be a great idea. I can get four types out of this hurricane, and it would be awesome. So I
Yeah,
went ahead and fitted it up and did the nanocore that way. And of course, when I went out and tested it, it didn't do anything, and it shouldn't, right? 15% of zero is still zero, but it's good to check. You never know where there's a bug in a game that I wouldn't call it an exploit, but a mistake in the code that would allow you to take advantage of something like that. So it was where there was more. I did it more for fun and for everyone else to see that, hey, don't try this. You're going to waste your money and waste your time in the materials. Let me show you the wrong way first, and then that way I can point you in the right direction. So I sort of did it on purpose, and I knew what the outcome was going to be, but I wanted to see it for myself just to be sure.
you never know. And when I saw it, I felt like, okay, he's doing it just for the science, and I liked it. I didn't have to do it myself, so that was very nice.
Thank you. Hopefully, I saved a lot of people a lot of materials and just trying. So
Yeah, I
um,
think so. I think so. I think it was great. I think it was very good. Very good video. Why did you start Eve Echoes? Was that because you played Eve Online?
absolutely. I played. I'll never forget. I played EVE Online for about 7 years, and I played within about a month of release. I started June 5th of 2003, and the only reason why I know that is because it's my dad's birthday, and which is sadly ironic that on your dad's birthday you're starting a new game, but that's what I did. And I loved EVE Online. I mean, obviously I played it for 7 years. Made a lot of good friends.
Yeah.
Some that I still talk to today that are, I don't talk to them very often, a couple times a year, but yeah, I mean, I love the game, and to me, it was a next logical step for that game was to go mobile. I just couldn't be tied to a PC any longer, and the laptops back then were not as good as they are now. They didn't play the game very well, so and I had multiple accounts. Like, at one point, I think I had 7 or 8 accounts in EVE Online, 5 or 6 accounts, depending on who you talk to, in Echo. So it's a phenomenal game. It really has it has unlimited potential, right?
Oh yeah,
EVE Online's been around for what is it now, 18 years. So
yeah,
if they do this game right and advertise when they need to and so on and so forth, this game can last as long as they want it to.
Yes. You actually started EVE Online before me. Then that is, it's not often you talk to people that have played EVE Online that early.
Yeah. Well, it's funny is I mean, I'll have to send you a screenshot. I still have the case. I have the case from the CD I actually bought for the game.
Me too.
It's sitting on my dresser. I found it probably about a half a year ago. I'm like, oh man, that is awesome. Still has the CD number and everything.
Yeah, and the old
and I stumbled
characters.
across it. I'll never forget. I stumbled across it. I think in a Walmart or a Kmart, something like that, and I wasn't even looking for a game, and I happened to notice it, and I thought, man, this looks pretty cool. And I was reading the back, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give that a shot. And it was just spectacular. I mean, the graphics are amazing. The content is amazing. You could do pretty much anything you want in the game, and you can play the game in multiple different ways. And they just did just a phenomenal job with the game. And I remember the early days back in 03 and 04 and grinding. And just like in Echoes, in the first 3 months of the game, you're flying around trying to mine and cruisers.
Yeah.
It's really starting from the ground up, and that's why I was so excited about Echoes. Was for me, it was a reboot on EVE Online.
Yes.
Even though there's obvious differences, but for me, it was like a rebirth. And I'm a huge supporter. I think NetEase has done a phenomenal job. Of course, they've stumbled and made some mistakes along the way, but that's the learning process. And all in all, I think it's a fantastic game. It really is.
I'm happy you feel like that. I feel the same. There's no other game that is space related that could even match this. And pretty much like you, I started EVE. I heard about EVE Echoes and I just quit. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this from the beginning again, because I remember we could actually have a podcast where we talked about old EVE Online stuff, and because
For sure.
I kind of find that very, very interesting to see other people's, like, how they grew up in the game, and other people have their stories. So that might be actually something to do.
I was actually very lucky in EVE Online, and I think it circles back to one of your other videos that you released recently. Is I actually, through the lottery, or how they were giving out Tech 2 blueprints, I was actually very fortunate enough to get a Cap Recharger 2 blueprint in the second round of the lotteries. So that instantly made me one of the most wealthiest players in the game for a while. I mean, at least on track, right? The blueprint itself was worth 50 to 100 billion ISK at the time.
Yeah.
And, this is an 0405 time frame, as I recall. And I had all the fancy ships, the super carriers, the carriers, dreads, and eventually got a Titan. And but I think what you pointed out before is that's not really the best. It sounds really good that you can buy anything you want and so on and so forth, but it's really not the best way to play the game. The best way to play the game is probably in that medium median income bracket or even on the poorer side, because it keeps the game fresh. It keeps you striving for a goal. You know, when you have everything, what's your goal? What are you striving for? You know,
Exactly.
and that, yeah, I think you need that goal to stay focused in a game like this where there's so many things you can do. It's easy to get inundated with with ideas, but focusing on something that I think helps keep the game fresh and keeps the desire to play, basically.
I'm working on a video right now that I will talk about iOS games overall. And it's the problem with iOS games is that they do not have what you need, and actually what you need is goals. So they only have like, this is the beginning, and then you pay away until the end, and that's pretty much it. And in a game like Eve Echoes, if you head to the end as soon as possible and you don't have any goals, you would just quit the game. So either you are like middle class or poor and have a great time for years, or you become very wealthy, but then you have to make very good own goals that you need to strive for. Otherwise, you probably stop playing.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, you told me you were in Trimark, so how's that alliance?
It's been great. Sam Rick was Spool was the original CEOs. Sam stepped away for the game for a while. I actually just returned, probably about a month or two ago, and he's awesome. He's the same thing. He's a longtime EVE Online player, a student of the game, knows the in and outs. He's the nuts and bolts guy. The spreadsheets on the side
Yep.
and so on and so forth. He's a good friend. I think of as a good friend and he was a great ambassador for the game. Spool was as well. I didn't have as much interactions with him, but we have a tight knit group. Everybody's, we try to help each other. It's just like a lot of the corporations, I believe. At least I hope so, or alliances is, we really try to help each other. Help each other reach our goals. Right. A lot of times, our goals are really lofty, and it's going to take a long time. And it's okay to ask for help if you need help, or if you're just starting out. We try to help out new players. Help them understand the game and avoid some of those initial pitfalls that a lot of us stumble across, unfortunately, if we don't have that, access to that information. But Trimark is a very family-friendly, oriented alliance. We're probably one of the bigger alliances in the game. At least, I know a lot of folks think we're more industry-driven, and we do have a big industry side, but we also have PvP. And we do PvE just like everyone else does, but it's a really good alliance. I love the leadership we have. It's turned over a couple times intentionally, trying to keep it fresh. I think having the same leader for an extended period of time, it's easy to get stagnant, or you're just always heading in the same direction,
Yeah.
which could be good for a while, but everybody needs a change of pace. So Captain Fancy Pants is our CEO now, and he's done a terrific job. So I'm very, very excited and just very blessed that I'm part of it. Captain Fancy Pants, isn't that that's a great name?
All right.
Fancy Pants.
Nice.
Only in mobile games, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, even leaders have to step aside and like take a break. So I think a new, fresh group of people is always good. What's your role in the alliance?
That's a good question. I help with some of the outpost management, collecting payments, and so on and so forth. I did some transactional, accounting for the alliance for a while as well. I have a couple side chats where some of the senior leaders we discussed, different ideas, and not so much direction of the alliance, but just about the game itself and what's the next great thing and so on and so forth. But I let those guys, I work a regular full-time job, and so I let those guys do what they got to do. And if I see something I think we might be stepping off the right path, I'll voice my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's I try to stay hands off when it comes to running alliances. That's not something I want to get into. I did it briefly early on in EVE Online, and it just became so much of a time. It sucked up so much of my time. I just don't have the energy or the time to dedicate to that at this point. So it's more of a consultant type role at this point. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. And they're doing a great job. So there's really not much for me to say anyway. They're doing exactly what I would hope that they should be doing.
That's very good. So let's go into the problem Echoes have. What are the things that you feel we need to change in Eve Echoes?
Well, this is all, to me, the biggest one, the elephant in the room, is the insurance. And it seems to be a very much a divided line, almost like politics nowadays. It's either people are for it the way it is, or people are against it. And for me, to me, it's obvious that there's an issue when you as long as you have insurance, and you lose your ship, you're getting it back at 30% cost. So 70%. So that basically what that means is 70% of the ships lost in the game are being replaced out of thin air, essentially by NetEase. And when you have a structure like that, it's hard to call the economy player driven when because items and things like that, everything that the value of items goes down dramatically, and we've seen it.
Yeah.
And if you look at the economy in October, November of last year, right around when insurance rolled out, the economy was booming. Industry was doing very well.
Yeah.
You can actually make profit on ships and so on and so forth. And nowadays, the old theory that you can just, like somebody sits in station, in Jita, for example, they buy all the minerals, they buy the BP, they make the ship there and they sell it on the market. You can't do that.
Nope.
If you do that, based on, I checked the Tempest last week. If I would have did that, I would have paid $90 million to sell it. It would cost me $90 million more ISK to buy it off the market and do it that way than to just straight buy the ship off the market. Here's the thing is, they said that CCP is even admitted that they don't like the way they've done the insurance, but from the folks that I've talked to, even this morning, the insurance is the same way it was 15 years ago. So if you get the platinum insurance, you spend the ISK right, and it covers about 78 to 80% of the value of the hull only, right? You don't get the mods and so on and so forth. So to me, if that system was so broken, why haven't they fixed it in 15 years? I think it's a little misleading when other folks are quoting CCP as saying that they wish they had never done it. Well, it's their game. If they really believe that, they would have fixed it in the last 15 years. They easily could have updated it. So,
in EVE Online, you can actually build and make a profit on their insurance.
Yeah, and you're always going to have folks exploit different gaps in the game, in all games, right? But I think that percentage is really low, and you can also track it too. I mean, if they have bots for people that are farming PI and so on and so forth, they could easily have the script look for folks that are taking advantage of the insurance, and then you penalize those folks. Like you can adjust the bot script for that. And you can put out a warning. Look, if certain ships are going to be profitable to go out and blow them up and get the insurance, if we catch you doing that, you're going to get banned for 30 days. There's easy ways to mitigate that risk and not punish an entire profession in the game. Because right now, the industry as a profession is not really viable, not like the other professions are. And it's a huge profession in EVE Online. Like it's a legitimate, huge profession. It truly drives the economy. Harvard did a multi-year study on the economics of EVE Online.
Oh yeah, I know.
They did it for a reason, right?
Yeah.
There's no study to be had here in Echoes except for the fact that it doesn't work.
Yeah,
these are my opinions. I mean, I feel like they're substantiated based on what we see in the market and what we've seen since the release of insurance, but it is also very PvP friendly, right? So from the person that all they do is PvP, the insurance is fantastic. Right now I have enough insurance points to lose my Macarial 3 times before I even have to buy new insurance. I have so much insurance points.
Shit, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Most of it's, we just got like 17,000 IP from the event. If you've paid. Most of my accounts are paid for the next year.
Yeah, I got 13,000 LP. So okay, I didn't even I didn't even see that. But fine. Okay.
Yeah, it just kind of sneaks up on you. So this is even going to prolong the agony of the market, right?
Yeah, this is
Because
gonna be worse, but yeah.
and it's killing Plex. So I'm just going to give you an example. I'm going to look at my Nightmare pilot right now.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, I've had this Nightmare since the first, let's just say week or two that you could get them. I already had the minerals saved and so on and so forth. Right now, it's not quite as good as the Macarial because the Macarial is not worth as much. It's going to cost me about 25,000 IP, and I have 52,000 IP. And
Oh my God.
I probably have bought about 20,000 for the Nightmare initially. So a lot of this is because of the new event. So the new event that's out. It's not the growth fund. It is the Omega special deal. So
Yes, that
I
one.
got
Yeah,
780 days accumulative, and if you look at all the IP you get, I think combined between all the different parts of this anniversary event, I probably got about 16, 17,000 IP.
Yeah, I got 13 or 14 something. Yeah. So
But look at the Plex you got. I have over 5,000 Plex on this character.
I don't have that many Plex anymore. I think I have like 3,000 or something.
Which is still a lot. I mean, that pays for
it's
your
good.
account for 6 months. It's this is an amazing event. They've really allowed you through being Omega, the dual combo for all this time to really keep progressing your account, basically paying for your account through this event. So
that is true. I like it. It's not necessarily good for the game, but I think it's good for the people, and people need some like carrot right now. So I think it's good. But yeah, the market will suffer and the Plex will suffer. Yeah.
Yeah, the Plex hasn't dropped as much as I thought. It's down about 10%. It did go below 1 million at one point. It's back up a little bit, but I'm surprised it hasn't really tanked because of the influx of Plex that people didn't actually use real money to buy. I'm surprised there hasn't been a big sell-off, but people probably did the right thing, or at least the smart thing, is Plex their account for the next few months. Everybody's situation is different. Like I don't mind paying the $15 a month for 5 accounts because it's I believe in the game. I believe in supporting the game financially to a certain degree, and I'd rather have that Plex to convert to ISK to do things I want to in the game. So
yeah,
I'm more than comfortable with that.
So I take it you're not free to play, right?
No. With games that I really enjoy, and I believe it's a good game. I have no problem spending some money. It's to me it's sort of a reward to the developers for putting out a good game. There are plenty of games that I should say there are a few games that I do play that I spend very little money, if any at all. It'd be maybe they have a very good special this month or something, but for the most part, I like the idea of supporting the game financially because that's what is going to enable us to get new great updates. The next best thing is if people were just playing for free, then we're gonna the game will get stagnant because no new content will be added. So I feel like I'm getting my $15 a month worth, or 5 accounts, $75 a month. I feel like I'm getting that much out of it. I really do. Between the interaction with the players and just playing the game itself, to me, it's worth it. It really is.
There's so much good people here.
Amazing community.
Yeah.
Even the ones that tend to throw stones at the game a little bit, when you get to talk to them and get to know them, they love the game. They're just frustrated in a certain aspect of it. And the people are great. I have run in. It's rare that I run into a person that's playing this game that I just don't get along with. It's absolutely rare. So it's been great. Especially with COVID going on, it's many places are locked down, so it's hard to get out and meet people and so on and so forth. So this is definitely a great way to stay in touch with people. and people all over the world,
Yeah,
right? You know, I'm in the U.S. in Florida, and where are you located?
Sweden.
Sweden. See, so it's pretty awesome how well this game can connect a lot of different lives in a lot of different parts of the world. So you know, I'm definitely grateful for that.
Not many know this, but still a lot of people know this. But I was free to play for a year. I was still like top of the chain. Could you call it like that? I had at one point like 30,000 Plex,
Oh
um,
my gosh, that's awesome.
and free to play. So I used my Plex to play the game. I think
Sure.
I bought like the first the first month. I think I bought something. I think like a month or something. Um, then I didn't buy anything for a year. And when this and I was kind of proud of it because I was like, okay, I have all this and I have all that and I have so much stuff and I'm free to play, and I was very happy of that. But now when this event came, I actually bought this pilot growth fund, and because that was just too good to to
For
pass up.
20, yeah, it's too good to pass up. It
Yeah,
really,
I
really
mean,
is.
I bought that, and since I had like played for that long time, I bought that, and I think I got like 2,000 plex or something, and I got those LPs. So it was like I buy this for like $20,
Uh,
and I get like a half a year subscription and LP, and it's like I'm gonna give them this. And I mean, I have no problem with helping with like with paying in games. I don't really have problem with doing that, but I'd rather pay for skins or stuff like that. I don't want to pay to win sort of.
Correct, I
So
agree.
but yeah,
Yeah.
now it's like a year, and I feel like yeah, they need some of my money, so give me something good, and they did.
To me, like whether you're free to play or you're paying your subscription, all of it's good, right? You know, everybody's in a different situation
Yes,
where you know you have to stay within your own budget, and and even like you, like I think you saw it as a challenge. Can I play
of
this
course.
game, be successful, and not have to spend real money? That's definitely a great way to play. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think everybody's got to cater to their own personal situation or their goal, you know, and there's going to be in the near future a couple of my accounts I could easily just plex it with what I'm making in game and do it that way, and I may at some point want to reduce my monthly expenditure on the game, but for now I'm comfortable with it, and I'm okay with that. But that's amazing, you know, to have that much plex and not have spent anything for the first year. That's awesome.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I come from EVE Online, so I knew Plex was going to be expensive, and when the Plex was like 8K, I did my missions in the Quercer, and I bought Plex all the time. So I actually had a lot of Plex when Plex reached, I think, 700,000 or something.
Uh,
Um, and then I sold off a lot, and I got into marketing. So that was kind of my thing. That was my thing. The like my thought about how to play this game from the start. I had to invest in something, so that's kind of what I did.
Well, and I love that about this game is there's so many different ways to play it. You have so many different options, and there's not a right or a wrong answer. It's really about what you enjoy doing, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
and that's awesome that you were able to do that. That's fantastic.
I should actually make a video about how to play the game for free, but it's very hard because I cannot take my situation that I had into account today because everything is different. It's a pathway that everyone takes, and everyone got their own adventure through this, and the outcome is hopefully just happiness and excitement and stuff like that. So
Well, one thing that was surprising to me is with the Plex being as low as it is, to me, that's not great for NetEase because as a spender, I'm very much reluctant to spend money on the AUR
yeah,
to convert to Plex because to me the value's not there right now. Right when it hit 2.2 million per, you buy some Plex and you can get a lot of ISK out of it that you can utilize in the game. But right now with the value of Plex so low, I just don't know that people are buying, you know, spending real money on the game to convert Plex to ISK, which is definitely and they're giving us so much Plex on top of it. So I don't know what their business model is, if they're going to, survive off the subscriptions and the random folks that spend. But you know, to me, it's a little concerning with it being this low. It's great for me. Like I love the fact that it's low, but from a business perspective, I wonder how that affects their profit and loss and how they look at the game from
Yeah,
NetEase's
yeah.
perspective.
I have a problem understanding that too, because they did implement new ways to use Plex. Like this whole year, they did a lot of different ways to. Okay, so we adding this, and you can use your Plex with it, and we're adding this, and you can use your Plex with it. And I was like, okay, this is how they're gonna push the Plex to maybe 3 million each, because if the Plex is high, we bring out our wallets to play the game, or we bring out the wallets to pay for a lot of money in the game. So but now the Plex is dying, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so they need to make sure that we use up this Plex at one time. So I'm not sure what that will entail, but they did also announce the stations now, and they said that the stations don't necessarily has to blow up. So I was like, oh my god, what's happening with the minerals now? If like, are we gonna
Oh God.
tether every station? And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I hope they have a pretty crazy idea.
Yeah, because that, right now, my understanding from senior leadership is building the components for stations has been the best moneymaker from an industry perspective. But
Yes.
if all they're going to do is change hands once they're upgraded, what's going to happen to the market then? Like, what's the next thing outside of October's, dreadnought, carrier update will
Yeah.
will suck up a lot of the minerals on the market. But I don't know. The market is very interesting. Like I feel like this game has a much narrower scope of professions that you can do and be successful at as far as making ISK. It just doesn't feel like industry is the way to go. I do have some industry alts that I just build chips for myself. If I need something, I have, I can just, because I AFK mine pretty much about
That's
it,
good.
5 days a week. So I have a stockpile of minerals that I'm saving for a carrier and whatever
Yeah.
else I
Sweet.
want. And yeah, I've already actually got about half of the components I believe I need for a carrier. So I'm trying to stack up there that way. In the first week, I would like to have a carrier when they come out.
Oh
And I
yeah,
think
me
that's a
too.
reasonable goal.
One thing that I thought about the stations, that we're gonna tether them and just switch ownership. One way to actually make sure that the stations are more and more expensive is because they did introduce tech level on them. So now you can level them up. So imagine if they have a tech level 2, like tech level 10 on a Citadel, and you have to level up like tech level 2, and then someone takes it over and they put in their money to make it tech level 3, which is a cost of like 2 stations, and then tech level 4 and 5 and 6. That's a way to actually make it use up a lot of minerals, and still they don't have the problem that people have to build new stations. So
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a viable option, and honestly, I kind of like the idea to a certain degree that stations aren't going to be blown up. Um, because of the value and how much time it took whoever's it was. If you're in a smaller alliance and you've got one or two corp citadels and you lose them, I mean that's devastating. It could really break an alliance,
oh yeah.
or it could really shatter it. And I don't know that that's great for the game either. Um, but I would like to see if somebody was able to take over a corporation citadel. Let's just say one of Trimarch's. I would like them to be able to have it for a week. Like, there's got to be some reasonable incentive that if I take this over, not only is it just a detriment to the enemy, but I want to be able to have it for a little bit. I don't know what kind of cooldown timer they're going to have yet on those. I don't know if we know that, if that's happened in the game yet. But I'm curious to see how long the ownership is for. Is there a timer on when it can be attacked again? Could it be immediately? To me, there's got to be some sort of cooldown. I'm just not familiar with
Yeah.
what that would be.
Yeah, not me. Me neither. So but I assume that it's a cooldown, probably like 24 or 48 hours, and then it can be attacked again. I think so. But one question that got to me was like, if you have a station that you have put your own like sweat and tears and you built it, would you feel better if someone blow it up or if someone just stole it? It's like
Oh, that's I
I
don't know.
would.
That's a tough call because if you take your pride, if you get rid of the pride and the emotion out of it, I say, you know what? I'd rather them take it because I can try to take it back at least.
Yeah, that
But
is
if they
true. That is true.
but if they blow it up, it's gone for good. So, from that perspective, I think I kind of like I'd rather somebody take it than just blowing it up because at least there's an opportunity for me to take it back. Um, But other
Yeah,
other
yeah,
people may feel differently. They may feel like, if I can't have it, nobody can have it. But
yeah.
um,
But
and there's
you,
an argument for that too. I mean, I get it. It's a tough one. It really is. I can almost flip a coin. I feel like this now, but maybe tomorrow I think, nah, if I can't have it, they don't get it either. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a really hard one. I
but
think I'd
yeah,
rather them take it than destroy it. That's at least the way I feel right now.
I would assume that if someone takes your citadel, then the new owners have to be very aware of that it's an imminent threat coming very very soon. So
The
yeah,
way
I
I see
like
it is,
that part.
yeah, it's a new way of like PvP warfare, right? Because here's what I assume is going to happen. If somebody comes in and takes one of our citadels, it's probably going to move all our gear and all our items in the citadel to the nearest ITC.
Yeah, I would
And
say
if it
so.
does that, I mean that can hurt. For
Yes.
us, I think it's UHKL, but maybe it throws it back in Omar. So just imagine having to move all that stuff down, like your ships and the things you need down there, um, you know, for making money or defending. It's all 25 jumps away or something. So
Yeah.
it that's a play there's a play right there. There's a strategy that you take it over not because you want to keep it, but because you want to move their assets to another location.
Yeah.
I never thought about it from that perspective. That's interesting.
Yeah. That it could actually make one war go on like forever. They take it back and then they take it back and then it's like back and
Yeah,
forth. I I,
just
I
kind of
like
ping
it. I'm
pong.
for that. I'm for that. What is your favorite chip? Is it the Tempest?
It is the Tempest. I love the Tempest. The damage and the rate of fire with the auto cannons is absolutely amazing. I do have a Macarial and I do have a Nightmare, and the Nightmare, in fairness, is my bread and butter. Right? I don't really rat without a Nightmare, so I can just sit in the bubble and I get my DPS higher. But the Tempest is my favorite ship. It's my favorite ship to PvP with. It's from a battleship perspective, and it's my favorite ratting ship. I do love the Macarial, but I don't want to put faction battleships or faction ships in that class. But the Tempest is by far my favorite. It looks cool. It's sort of intimidating looking.
Yeah.
Um, I
It's
don't think I did a great job on the color scheme on mine. It's really goofy red and I think I went a little overboard on it. I need to tweak that some, but I just did it really quickly and because I just wanted to get in it and move on. But yeah, I really really like the Tempest. I like the Mimitar, the cannons, the damage, the three types of damage, the rate of fire, the speed of the ships. Mimitar. I was a big Amar guy in EVE Online mainly because I was in Stain and Quirius actually. This area where I'm in
nice.
now in Quirius and Stain is very familiar to me, and I spent most of my time, my 7 years in the game, in the South, and it seems like that's where I'm going to be here with Echoes as well. So um, it's really cool. I'm so proud of this game. I'm so proud that I'm a part of the game. I love making videos for it. I wish I can put out content more frequent, it's like yourself and others, but with I just don't have the kind of time. I have two young kids. I got a 13 and an 8-year-old sons, and my 13-year-old's playing actually. He's
Oh,
small
nice.
skillet. Yeah, so he's small skillet. So if you see him in the game, say hi. He turns 13 Tuesday, but
What's
his
his
account
name?
is
What's the in-game
It
name?
is Small Skillet.
Small Skillet. Oh, okay, I didn't hear that. Okay, Small Skillet. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, his account was day one. I set him up with a day one account, and he played a couple days, didn't like it, and I said that's fine, I'll keep it. And I didn't really, it just sat dormant for a while, but he started, playing the game more the last month or so, and he really likes it. He's been enjoying it, especially with faction warfare. He
Oh
really loves
yeah,
the war games,
he does,
and
right?
he does, and that I think that was a big hook for him to get him back in the game, which is great. I love the fact that he's on. He was on. We had a home defense earlier, and he popped on, and was playing with us too. Came down in the scepter. So, this game is transcends generations, right? You
It's
can have
amazing.
father sons, father daughters, mother daughters,
Hell
all
yeah.
kind of. It's that good of a game, and it's got the name recognition as well. So, I really love the game. I get goosebumps talking about it. I just love it.
I can't wait until my kid like grows up a little bit, and hopefully this game is still going. Otherwise, I probably play some other game, and hopefully with that guy, because like my little guy, hell yeah, that would be awesome.
How old is your son?
He's 7, so
7. Okay. I try to get my 8-year-old to play. It's just he could probably do some of the things, but all the extra reading and understand it's too complex for an 8-year-old.
yeah.
13-year-old, he's pretty smart and he's been able to figure out some things, and I think that's about the right age, maybe a little earlier, but it's a long-term game, right? It's not like I play Brawl Stars. I don't know if you're familiar with that game. I love that game. I
I
play
never
that with
played it. I know what it is.
I play that with both my boys when they come over, and we'll play for a couple hours here and there, and it's a great game. It's a quick hitter game. It just the matches last 2 to 3 minutes,
Yeah,
and they're fun. We play together, and
I think it's a great thing. Can you remember the best fight you've been a part of?
Echoes the best
Yes.
fight. That's a tough one. I don't get to participate in as many CTAs as I would like. They
Right.
always tend to be super late at night for me. Um,
Yeah, same here.
so I miss out on a lot of opportunities. And then on the weekends, a lot of times, if I have my boys, it's I'm focusing on them, and then on the weekends I don't. It's you know how it is. It's just
Oh yeah.
I try to pop on when I can. I can't even think of the best one, to be honest with you. I couldn't think of the system. It's been a while. I've been in some 400 or 500. I think we had about 500 or 600 in system. It's been several months since we had that kind of coverage, but um, I don't remember. I do remember it was before tie dye, and the lag was terrible. So that'll tell you right there how long it's been.
Yeah.
The lag was terrible, and it was. I was playing on my iPad at the time, and on my laptop, and it was just disconnects and so on and so forth. But I'm not the greatest at. That's not a good question for me, unfortunately. It's been so long since I've been in a really good PvP battle,
Yeah.
CA type battle. There's a lot of no shows, unfortunately. We get a lot of no shows.
Yeah. I'm one
I'm
of
like,
those because I don't have time. I really don't have time to join the CTAs as much as I want to. So
I
yeah.
feel like I'm a bad luck charm because the last 4 or 5 I've been able to attend, we've had no fight. So I don't know if it's me. I know I'm not putting the fear of anything. I'm not putting the fear of another
They're
players.
scared
I
of you.
assure you. It's just bad luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like I'm the unlucky rabbit's foot.
Yeah, you play other games, as I hear. So, would you call yourself an iOS gamer?
Absolutely. I don't.
Absolutely.
I don't really play PC games. I haven't played those in probably 10 years plus. Typically, I play Echoes most of the time. When I want to take a break, I'll play Brawl Stars. Those are the two main games that I play. I'm not. I play Minecraft with my kids. I'll play Minecraft. I love Minecraft.
Yeah.
I don't play it as much as I used to. We go in stages. And Roblox, they're big into Roblox. I don't know if your 7-year-old's playing Roblox yet, but
No, no, it's
uh,
not.
okay. Well, and some of the games in Roblox are a little tricky for 7, 8, 9-year-olds, but There's a lot of games similar to Minecraft that they have in Roblox, so I'll play some of those with them. But for the most part, I try to focus on one game because Echoes does require a certain amount of time investment
Yes,
over the
definitely.
course of a week. So I try not to spread myself too thin. So really, I focus on two games. I focus on Brawl Stars and obviously mainly Eve Echoes. But I'm a big time gamer. I've been playing games since since the Atari, what was it, the 2600 came out and we were playing
Yeah.
Space Invaders.
Yep.
That was my first game. So
Yeah, and I had a Commodore 64.
I did too. I did
Holy
too. That was the
shit.
one with the funny keypad, right?
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
one the
And the
yeah, I
floppy
remember
disks and all that. So
that. Uh-huh. Yeah.
good times. Good times. Yeah, well, yeah, I do play some Minecraft too, though. Not that much. We have a Minecraft realm that some guys here play. And
Nice.
I try to be a part of that as much as I can. But yeah, it's time. I have my kids, I have a wife, I have a full-time job. So uh, I was a lot for MMORPGs in general. I played WoW like 2 seasons, Lich King or something, and then I started like Eve, and so I play all these kind of MMORPG games as well as dungeon crawling games like Diablo and all that. That is
Yep.
kind of my thing. So I've been playing this weekend Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
so
How
that
is
is
it? I haven't played Diablo in many years, but I loved it. It was the game I played before EVE Online, as I recall. That and WoW
yeah.
briefly.
Yeah,
Very
well,
little.
well, you're talking to a guy who played Diablo 1 for 5 years. I played Diablo 2 for like 6 years. So and that was
Definitely, you're
every
definitely an
fucking day.
MMORPG guy. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's an amazing game, and of course this is pretty much like the old one. I did get some weird feelings, like I didn't feel like the character moved the way it should do, but I mean, of course I played it a long time ago, so I figured it might just be me. But yeah, we played it. We did the whole Act 1, me and a friend, and
Mm.
I recorded it. So that will be I think I will release that tomorrow. So when you guys
Oh,
hear
nice.
this, then it's already out. But yeah,
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out because I want to take a look at it. It's been
it
so long since I played.
yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. And if you remember like the rune words, and you might remember what you farmed for and stuff, and all that feeling comes back when you start playing this game. So it's amazing if you have played this game before, and if you haven't played Diablo 2 at all, then and you're like one of these millennia kids that plays these games nowadays, you probably will not like it because it's not packed with stuff that games today have. So it will be boring at times. But yeah, if you are a Diablo 2 fan, then and it, then you kind of know that when you reach Baal in hell, that's kind of what you do. You just run Baal runs, and then you PvP or whatever. So that's pretty much the game. That's all you do. But I like it. It doesn't have to be more.
Well, and that's what Eve Echoes is for me, right? It's the nostalgia.
Yeah.
It brings back so many memories, and I remember some of the players I used to play with, you know, 15 years ago, and it
Yes.
makes me wonder, like, what are they doing now? I know one of my friends, Prodigy the Hauler, he's still playing. He's been playing. We basically started about the same time in
Yeah.
'03, in June of '03, and he's still playing. I know he
Whoa.
doesn't play as much as he used to. He's in the military. He's been overseas
All
on and
right.
off for the last 15 years. So, um, yeah, it's amazing he's still playing. I assumed he would have sold his accounts and move on by now, but it's that good of a game. And
It's
just like
amazing.
Diablo and those, it's just that good of a game that it can keep your attention and keep you interested for that long. There's not many games that have been around been able to do that.
Oh no, not at all, and especially not iOS games. Those are. I mean, I used to explain to people that a game is kind of what you do with it, and I am a master of making something fun that's not. But it's like some games, and And when I say some games, it's some games of the games that I typically try. It's not some games of every game, because then it's like 99%, I guess. It's just bad. I mean, just bad.
Yeah.
And I have tried twice on my channel to do videos about bad games. The first one was before I didn't know anything. I did not know how to record my voice. I did not know how to edit. So I kind of just played on my mobile and just threw it up on the YouTube. And then I started, adding some stuff like talking, and it's so bad games. And then there's a few games that is actually pretty good, and then you have Eve Echoes, of course, that is not really an iOS games in my opinion. It's way more.
I agree. It's technically on iOS, but I know a lot of people playing on their laptops, and obviously on different devices. This is different. Yes, it is on mobile, but this is a game that I believe will outlive most of the other similar type games, or just games in general on iOS. Most games in iOS, I think, only last a couple years because the developers made their money and they're already on to the next game, and they stop really making content for the other game.
Yeah.
This game does have the potential to have the longevity, but they got to be careful. Releasing the faction battleships before releasing the regular battleships was a big mistake.
Yes.
Because so at Tech 8 I got the faction battleships. I got 2 of them, and when Tech 9 comes around, there was nothing for me.
Yeah,
I already had ships that were way better. So what's the carrot? What's my next goal? And that's why they really, and I don't know why they did it. I have my personal thoughts that maybe they needed they wanted a money. It was like a money grab situation. I don't like using that term because I don't feel like NetEase is doing that with this game. It's definitely not. There's been no gotcha moments for me, and that was one of the concerning aspects. Having played other games that were developed and released by companies in the East, they just have a different mentality on the monetization component of the game. But I think they've done a great job. They haven't monetized it in a way that I think is over the top. I think they've kept a really good balance for the most part, and it's definitely not pay to win by far.
Oh no. Oh no, it's not. Definitely not. If you have tried Diablo 2 or whatever, we could talk Diablo 2 for hours. Make a Diablo 2 podcast or whatever. It's it's endless with ideas. So, is there anything you want to talk about that you feel we have left out?
I just want to say that if you haven't checked out Sheev's channel and gone through some of the videos, they're spot on. I think your content is fresh, it's clean, it's to the point. There's not, I think I find myself in my own videos rambling. I'm a talker apparently, and probably because I work from home, so I don't get enough of it at home. But I try to keep them clear and concise and to the point. But I think you nail it. I really do. I love the content. I can't wait to see the next ones because I don't watch regular TV. I watch mainly YouTube. I have several channels that I watch, whether it's about this game or something totally unrelated. So that's where I get a lot of my entertainment when I'm not playing games. And I look forward to seeing more content from you. The Eve Echoes, it's a great game. This is a great time to be in the game with all the fresh content between exploration. Faction War Games is a game changer. It really does take this game to the next level. Nobody can say that they're afraid to PvP anymore. If you're a miner, you can PvP all you want when your opportunity presents itself in faction warfare. There's 100% no risk. It's super fun. It is a little frustrating. I'm not going to lie. I'm not progressing as fast as I would like, but it's still fun. It's still fun. Even when I lose, I've been beaten up pretty bad, but I'm still having a blast. I learn a lot about myself and about the game mechanics, because I don't fly a lot of frigates and definitely not destroyers. So I'm learning a lot about the game through playing faction warfare. So this to me, this is big. This is about the biggest update they've had. Sovereignty could be disputed because it gave people access to space that they probably wouldn't have gone anyway, because it'd be too far from an actual station. But this is probably the biggest update and to me the most enjoyable.
This is a great time to start playing Eve Echoes. That is for sure.
So many opportunities. So there's so many ways to play the game anyway. But when you throw faction warfare in there, if you want to log on for an hour and that's all you have, and you can play faction warfare, that's a great hour. That's an hour well spent. You know, you're not wasting any time. It's, to me, that's just like pure enjoyment. So, very excited. They did a great job with it. They're still buggy as can be. My overview still does not work. I still have to click in space to target my targets. I don't know if anybody else has done that. Yeah, my overview. So it'll let me switch between enemies and friendlies, but in the actual overview, I can't see them. So I have to click in space. I sent a picture to the in game to support, and hopefully they can fix it. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if anybody else is having the same issue. Maybe they want to put in the comments below if they're experiencing that too. But all in all, I'm very, very happy with the game, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday to talk to me, about the game. It's been great. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, this was very fun, and thank you for reaching out to me. Wanted to talk, or did I reach out to you? I can't remember.
It didn't matter either way. It's it's all good. I think you had made a comment on one of my videos, but when I saw you doing the podcast too, I thought, well, that would be an interesting. I've never really done an interview like this about a game before, and it's been super fun. I really enjoyed it. I could talk just like you. I can talk about games all day long.
That's cool.
Sheev, I really appreciate you having me on. It's been a pleasure. I really, really enjoy talking to you about the game and just other games in general. And if you hadn't had a chance to subscribe to Sheev's channel, I think you should, because the content is for somebody with less than 500 subs. His content is superior. It's really, really, really good. The editing quality is high end. The audio is fantastic. I love your voice. Like, I don't know what else you want. Sub to the channel, for crying out loud. What are you waiting for?
You're making me blush.
Smash that button. I just do mine for fun. If I get subs, I get subs. I don't really, it's nice to see when somebody subscribes, but I don't really freak out too much. But when I see somebody that's doing something that's really good, I feel like people need to watch, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Thank you so much. And I will add your channel in my description so you guys can look that up too. And we have to cut this. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here, and like and subscribe or whatever you want to do. That's fine with me. And I think that I will actually have you here one more time and we can talk a little bit about other games maybe. So I will make a different type of podcast with a different thumbnail about some other games. So have a great time until then.
Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.